for the takedown, and I was going to wrap that neck up and finish the submission.
You know, you told me earlier in this week, he said, you know what, I can wrestle at anyone in the division. If I want to make it boring, I'll just drop people to the ground and wrestle them and do whatever. I'll just hold them there. But he just said he didn't have that in him. He wanted to always make sure he stands up. But you caught him trying to wrestle you anyways. I mean, it worked against it.
That's the years of training with Dan Henderson's Athletic Fitness Center. You know, I've been with Dan for 10 plus years. You know, I've been with them for a long time. I learned so much from those guys, all the guys that came through the room, Joe Warren, Mola Wall, Dan Henderson, Matt Linlin. One thing that I've never wrestled a day in my life up until I started MMA, but when I learned it, it was from all Olympians. So when I'm going against these guys who are D1 wrestlers and you know, high school wrestling, I'm not saying that they can't get me down, but I know they're not going to have the same amount of pressure that an Olympian will. So me being able to get up from the ground with these guys has given me the confidence to know that I can do that with anybody.
How did you feel like the fight was going up until that point? What did you think about the first two rounds, and maybe what was your corner telling you? I mean, did you think that they were close? Did you think that he maybe won the first two rounds?
You know, I don't really judge off points because I know with takedowns, it all depends on how they see it. You know, obviously when I got down to the ground, I was still outworking them. I was landing shots to the body. I was using the choke to get back to my feet. It really depends on how they're going to see that. He got a good takedown, but wasn't able to connect or do anything with it. So what I try to show is a real fight. You know, even though he gets me down, I'm outworking you, and I'm going to make you uncomfortable down there. Where I know the judges see it off points, so I can't go off of that. I make it a fight so these guys don't want to fight me again or don't want to even be on the ground with me.
What comes next for you? I mean, what do you do from here? Because you've only got the one loss here in Bellator, and it was a questionable one, like you said the other day. I mean, and against the big name.
You know, it's, MVP's a great fighter, but I'm the first person to actually make him run away from another opponent. You know, so I don't feel I took that as a loss. I saw that as a win. And same thing, it's all depends on how you're going to see the points. He's basically jabbing, running away, where I was blocking almost every single shot that he threw. I was landing more kicks. My legs are longer than my arms, so of course I was throwing more kicks to kind of deflect his power punch. He likes to leap in with that cross, and I took that away from him with the high kicks. So really it just depends on how you look at it. But once he was running in that third, that's where I knew he doesn't have it for that fourth and fifth round to fight me. So
is that a fight you want back then?
It will be once I get my title, because once I get the title, I have that fourth and fifth round. There's no ducking that no more.
So, I mean, you think that's what should be next for you after this win tonight? Do you think you should get a title shot, or do you think there's one more that needs to happen?
There's one thing that I have to prove to everybody, and that's that I can make the weight. There are some issues that happen. You know, I'm not going to completely say it's that fault. At the same time, I got to plan for things that are going to go wrong. So right now, my job is I'm going to start recording this. As I make my job, I'm going to get down to 180, 185. So these guys know that I'm serious about this. You know, it's the only thing that's kind of hanging over me right now, is that I can't make the weight, or that I haven't made that weight. So I'm going out there to prove that first. But yeah, if I get this title shot, I'll make the weight. I'm going to get my belt, and I'm going to continue to make the weight until there's nobody left, and I can start challenging other organizations for their titles.
Ward got off a couple of shots earlier in the fight. Were you timing his shots to hit him with that guillotine later?
It was my job to kind of deflect a lot of the shots. He did land some, but it's really, you gotta let them land a little bit to make them continue to throw. My game plan was dig that body, dig that body. He starts to tire, and I just kind of helped him out with, you know, taking the wind out of him. After I saw that he started to slow down, by the second I started putting more pressure on him. I landed a clean elbow where I know he was rocked, and it was, you know, downhill from there.
Ward is usually a very aggressive fighter, and he was aggressive, but he seemed a little more methodical at the beginning. Did that surprise you at all?
No, I knew that his last loss where he took that knee, it was going to be on the back of his mind, so I knew that's why he got the takedown initially. Once he felt that I could get back up and I started landing my shots to the body, I don't let them rest down there. Most times they try to get me to the ground and they try to hold, but with me they're not resting. I'm digging the body, I'm digging, they're feeling the hits. it's almost too difficult to clinch once you're holding somebody down. Your body's more relaxed, so every shot goes straight to the bone. And he pulled off of me quick, and I knew that's what was gonna happen. And you know, I planned for all that stuff, and it came out, man. It's awesome to see it and then go out there and put it out for everybody to see.
Were you discouraged at all by those takedowns?
No, not at all. I knew, you know, like I said, I train with Olympians, so these guys get me down, I get back up. I've gotten back up in many of my fights, so it's just one of those things. I knew the more he did it, the quicker he's going to gas. He's got a ton of upper body strength, and it's, you know, you need a lot of oxygen to fuel those muscles. So for me, I just knew it was a matter of time he was going to gas or get desperate, and I would land my choke.
Was it just a sloppy takedown at the end for the finish?
I think what it was is just I allowed it. The takedowns initially, I got it to the cage, so I was loose with the choke to get up. Once he shot in deep in the middle, you know, he gave up that neck, and my guillotine. That's one of my favorite moves. So if you put your head there, I'm gonna probably finish it.
When I talked to you a couple of weeks ago, you said that you kind of viewed tonight as like a mini tournament. You know, Koreshkov and then Shakwani in the main event, and then you and Brennan in the co-main event. You know, after seeing his impressive performance and the performance you put on, you know, is that a matchup that interests you, I'm assuming?
For sure. You know, right now, the next fight that's up is McDonald versus Lima. So in the time that they're fighting, I would like to put myself in that #1 contender spot. So, yeah, I love to stay busy. So if he's next, man, it's going to be a war. I was already planning for him. My fight with Brandon Gertz is what happened, but I was scheduled to fight him. So it's one of those things that, like I said before, I have a lot of respect for him. He was a champion at the time that I came in, and he's a warrior, man. So anytime I can get in there and, you know, show that mixed martial arts experience and heart that I have, you know, throughout the years, man, it's just it's a blessing to get in there with some of these guys, and it's a fight that I'm definitely looking forward to.
Last question, guys. Any more? All right,
Thank you, guys.
Thanks
Thank
very
you.
much. Yeah, this is